in your blog about at the time when you have to, what is the quote exactly? About suppressing.
Oh my God.
Sorry, yeah, I read
Please
your blog.
Don't.
But basically on the rigs, you have to but not be a woman. What is it like for you being on a rig with a bunch of men?
It's very bizarre because what you were saying about something that Tara said really resonated inside me, and she was like, I heard her as she had to do something with her beauty. She was expected to do something with it, and sometimes I hear on oil rigs that people just assume I'm a lesbian. I'm not a lesbian. Sorry.
But you have short hair.
I know.
You wear pants.
I know. Fucking distracting. I know. I'm not a lesbian, and people, because of the way I look in the job I do, people expect I'm going to do something. A bit like, I guess, no one would think you're a lesbian because you've got long blonde hair and you sing. Oh my God.
I am disappointed that you're not.
Nice.
If you're trying to make me more nervous, that's amazing. Well played. Well played. Why don't you cry a bit more? Yeah, about this whole thing about oil rigs.
So let me get you back on track. So when you're on the oil rigs, you almost have to be genderless.
Okay,
like
well,
without.
Usually when I go, I've got to give you a bit of context because otherwise you just can't understand this. An oil rig is about the straightest environment you can imagine. It's full of big, beefy, blokey guys that are all straight. They all have pictures of busty blonde women on the little like changing room things, and there is not a single other female in sight, basically. And I can't be sexualized at all. And because there are a group of men that are obviously going to sexualize me if I leave any doors even slightly ajar, I just can't do it. So I just got to turn myself into this completely asexualized person that I am so not. But I need to be that. And it's very funny because my boyfriend has told me on a couple of occasions that when I come back from a job, I act differently for a couple of days after that. I reply to him very shortly, even if I'm not mad at him, and I'll be a bit more forceful, and I'll be a little bit not quite myself. It broke my heart when he told me that, because I then realized that I do build a persona for going into these environments, because I just can't be a woman there. It's just not possible. And there is a sense that my boyfriend has a son, and this little kid's mum is an academic, and this little kid's stepmom is a commercial diver, and I think he gets a very good vision of what's available to people. And I think people should be whatever they want to be, you know, and not whatever other people want them to be based on their looks or their intelligence or whatever else. Well, okay, I'm intelligent. I don't give a shit. I don't want an academic job. I just want to go and like get adrenaline wherever I can, you know.
So mechanically, like, where do you sleep? Where, do you like sleep in?
Well, that's the problem. Is that you sleep in cabins that I've shared cabins with 8 guys in the past, and it is just not a problem because everyone's very professional, and when you're working, and when you're dressed in overalls all day long, and after 12-hour shifts, you just basically take your overalls off and you sleep. There is no place for flirting. There's no place for anything like that. So it's just, it's pretty straightforward. However, the reason why I was turned off from these jobs very recently is because they didn't want me to share a cabin with a man, which is pretty funny because at least most white Westerners, they're in Asia, there are some countries where I can understand, because they're Muslim countries, people there would not want to share a cabin with a woman because it's a bit weird to them culturally, and I can understand that. But there's always Westerners, white people on a rig, and they didn't want me to share a cabin with them. And I just don't know why. It's like, I have no problem with it. I'm professional. They have no problem with it. They're professional. And yet, we're not allowed to do that. So it's a bit weird.
Do you have to fend off like negative comments or anything like that? Is that accepted in your work environment?
What kind of negative comments?
If stereotypes, like you're saying, you've got short hair, you're a lesbian. Have you had that experience?
The short hair, by the way, is mostly because it's really easy to manage when you're like, wait 12 hours a day. But there is.
Stop giggling.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I told you I'm not a lesbian. I just don't get these jokes straight away. Anyway, no, I'm lucky enough that I'm not too beautiful and I'm not too ugly, in a way, in classical standards. So I'm like middle ground, so that I don't get the oh my God, I just really want to fuck her kind of jokes, or the oh my God, she's fucking dog kind of jokes as well. So that's kind of fine. I'm very happy with how I look. This is good. But I do get, mostly because of my size, I'm tiny compared to Australian people that are really tall. Yeah, exactly. I'm really tiny and I weigh like 48 kilos, which is about half of everyone else on an oil rig. And people just don't believe that I can do the job. I can do the job, they just don't really believe that I can. And it's a bit weird as well because usually these guys that work in these environments use the fact that they're doing these jobs as a way to get pussy, because they're like so tough and whatever. And when they see that a girl my size can do the same job as them, they're like, oh fuck. Everyone's gonna know we're a scam. It's like, no, it's difficult, it's not unfeasible.
Thank you very much. Beccy, have you had to deal with negative comments? Not just since you've come out, but just as a woman, as a blonde, blue-eyed, woman on stage. Have you had to deal with like negative comments, stereotyping?
Absolutely. Over the years, I started working in my mum's band when I was 14, and I've never done anything else for a living. I'm very lucky in that way. But over the years, I've had I moved to Sydney 20 years ago to start knocking on record company doors, and I had all sorts of things told to me, and it was interesting hearing Tara speak, because I could relate to being in very uncomfortable situations with whether it be a radio station guy or a record company guy, or and I thought that we never spoke about that stuff when it happened, and I never forget. One of the stories was I was set to go to Nashville. One of the record companies was going to send me to Nashville. And I went in for the meeting, and the guy from Nashville was there, and he said, this is going to be perfect. They just love tits and teeth there. And I just felt instantly dirty. And I said, what about my songs? And they said, don't worry, we'll fix those. Wow. And I never went to Nashville.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that Nashville's Nashville's not great, but it was just not my. I thought, no way, if that's, I was really, I was already doing okay with my songs. I loved travelling around regional Australia, and I love all of that opportunity that I've got here. But if they were sending me to Nashville because of tits and teeth and not because of songs, then
not going there.
No, not going there. No way.
Yeah. So Naomi, in your experience, what has been? We're talking, about traveling around in the world, in our bodies and as ourselves. What's been your experiences?
I really do like who I am. I'm really comfortable. I think I've grown into it. I don't think I've ever really been. Oh, here it goes. I know. See, you're doing this on purpose. No. I told you this. I've always been really happy with myself. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am. I just don't like talking about myself. They're good. You want to know that on the panel before? What's you good like stuff? My boobs. See, I have to make everything a joke. Sorry. I've never really been. I've always been kind of called. By the time in year 7, I hit 5'10". I was always tall. So whenever thank you, someone who likes tall people. And so it was always like when you turn up for photos at school, it'd be like, everyone line up behind Naomi. And I was just like, okay. But because I was 5'10" in year 7 and I did a lot of sports, I literally played 6 sports at school. I was always active. I had horses, motocross riding. You know, you grew up in the country, you know, you do everything and anything, don't you? Like just to keep active. Well, because I didn't want to sleep with men, so that kind of, yeah. I had to make myself busy. And and it's sort of because I was always busy and doing things. I was a swimmer and active, and I used to surf and all that sort of stuff. So you're big in other kids' eyes, so they turn around and go, oh, she's so fat, because I was a size 16. But being a size 16 and 5'10", it's the right size sort of thing. Looking back now, I see pictures of me. Yes, I was a cadet. Don't laugh. And look good in a uniform. And I used to do cadets, and I had the biggest uniform and everything. But looking back at the photos, I wasn't big. Do you know what I mean? I've never really been... I'm comfortable with my size. I've never let anyone put me down for my size. Women have liked me for my size. It's not like... I haven't let it affect me. I think a lot of big people out there, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, they let their size worry them. And I think that's sad. So I think they should just... Sorry. Stop it! I just think big women should just, like, I love when I see a big brassy woman out there with a corset on and just enjoying themselves and just being themselves, because they'll just be accepted for who they are, you know? If they had more guts, that's all.
Now, Leah, I don't mean to always put you in the youth category, but I'm going to just one more time. A UK study just came out saying that a lot of like eating disorders are being like aligned with Facebook. And do you think that holds weight?
That was an interesting way to ask
Holds
the question.
weight.
Yeah, get it?
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Eating disorders and Facebook. I haven't read the study. I do like to read the internet, and I really hope to finish it one day. But
Good luck.
I haven't read that study, and I honestly think I don't have the authority to speak on that. One of the things I've learned is that one of the ways your image can get in trouble, and that you can, things can go pear-shaped, is when you sit in a position where you can speak about things and you try and speak on things about that you don't know about. And I think that's. I'm really sorry, Kate, because
drop off that one.
Totally. Ask me. I love Claire Bowditch. She's just future wife number 1.
I think image can come from a lot from inside as well, and your friends and your peers. Like my peers at school put me down, so I believed them. But now in my scene, I am surrounded with the most amazing friends.
Actually, and
I think the same thing with kids. I think maybe.
And can I, I feel that sometimes in predominantly women's spaces, we bash men a lot. And can I have a little tribute to my father for a second? Because I was so privileged to be brought up by a man who I've never seen him change his personality or who he is, no matter what room he walked in. It didn't matter. When I was 12 years old, we were getting a piano, and I'd worked really hard, and finally, yes, Leah, we can get you a piano. My dad went in there, and he didn't give a shit about the fact that it took everything that they had to get this piano for their daughter, and pretended he was South African and that he played the bassoon. And convinced this guy that, he also wanted to buy a bassoon. He has a superhero alter ego because that helps him. He's Green Man. He has an outfit and everything. His power's in his double goggles.
Yeah, love it.
And I think that as women, we do also have some really brilliant men in our lives, and they're our brothers, our sons, our fathers, our uncles, our best mates, gay, straight, or whatever gender identity in between. There are some brilliant men out there, and I think that we need to bring them on board a little bit more often and embrace them and celebrate them.
Absolutely. Amanda, you would agree with that?
I was nodding along to 2 things. The first one was Facebook, but I'll start with the second one because that's the last one you said.
What was that? What did you just say?
That was the inner dialogue coming out.
It was a little bit of a French thing coming out there,
Yes,
wasn't it?
No, I just wanted to say that this is true. I don't want to make him cry, but my boyfriend gets asked a lot, what does it feel like to have a girlfriend that's got more muscles than you? And people think that it's weird, that like I come home in overalls and like he's cooked dinner and things like that. And this is just about people letting other people and their partners in particular be whoever the fuck they want to be. and helping them grow into whoever they want to be. This is really good, and you're right. They're amazing people. They're amazing fathers and amazing boyfriends in my case, and this is important to acknowledge because not everyone's like this. But anyway, the Facebook thing I thought was interesting because I was having a conversation on Facebook yesterday about this girl that committed suicide following something on Facebook, and it's like, Facebook doesn't kill people. People kill themselves. And no matter where you go, if you have bad body image, if you have something that's bringing you down, if you don't have the keys to cope with particular problems, whether it's on Facebook, at school, or somewhere else, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to maybe commit suicide. You're going to do all these bad things, feel bad about your body. It's not really about social media. It's about how we equip ourselves to deal with this world, how we give our kids the tools to equip themselves with the world and everything else. It's not about being bullied on Facebook. It's about being bullied. It's not about social media. It's about,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Naomi?
I'm just thinking, imagine one day, if we all just had a media blackout. Just imagine that. How much would we all shit ourselves? I know. Me too. But imagine how amazing would people just go, wow, I really do rely on it. And it's amazing, like, my 4-year-old knows how to use my iPad. She sits there and she like flicks through stuff, goes there, goes there. What's your password? You're not going to know it. Seriously. Like, it's the technology that she can just pick up so quickly now because they're so surrounded. But imagine just having a day that we all just have a Facebook blackout. It'd be, I don't know if it would work, but it'd be interesting to try.
But Facebook also brings people together, doesn't
it? As well.
When you grow up as, you know, a gay kid in fucking redneck country in the middle of Australia 20 years ago, you had no way of knowing there was other people like you and feeling better about yourself.
I grew up in that place. I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
And, you know, it's also about making sure that communities can be brought together, and there are people doing amazing things on Facebook.
Well, you've still got internet, though. You've still got internet and YouTube and counselling service. You've got so many different places. If we just, I don't know. I just think we're too reliant. There's a show out at the moment called Revolution. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's about how, like, literally, the end of the world, electricity just goes and you've got nothing left. And it's amazing how people cope and go, oh, you know, I don't have a fridge. There'll be no more ice cream. Little things like that. And Facebook's the same sort of thing. Like, I know it's not, ice cream's not Facebook, but you know what I mean? I'm rambling.
I think that Facebook definitely has some brilliant places in our lives. Like, I've made, you know, I have met so many people through Facebook, and my life has grown and my ability to connect, and I have people in my Facebook on my Facebook who don't follow the same kind of news stories that I do, and who don't know about the world that I exist in. There might be people from high school or whatnot, and I operate as a bit of an alternate news feed for them, and they get to read about, you know, feminist activism and about queer rights and all of that stuff that I put up there. And I think that it's really easy to blame something when you don't understand it. And I think that at the moment in public discourse, particularly when it comes to bullying, we're blaming social media. But I think that blame often comes out of fear, and fear comes from the unknown. And I think that if we took more time to understand it, and we took more time to have, as I said before, conversations about it, and to equip people who have never had anything to do about it to pick their own personal boundaries and learn how to see something and go, let me get my emotions in check. How did I feel before I looked at that? I was actually fine. That was that image that made me feel like that. I'm okay. And if we can teach people those skills, I think that we can coexist with social media. And I think that blaming it all the time is not going to get us anywhere.
So it's very much about personal responsibility, isn't it?
It's a tool.
And community responsibility. I don't think it's just personal responsibility. I don't think that we should say to someone, oh, well, you're crap because you didn't take it upon yourself to learn it. Like, I think it is a community responsibility, and it's a family responsibility, and it's a friend responsibility, that if you have a friend who's getting weighed down by some shit that's happening on fucking Facebook, have a conversation with them about it, and don't just say, yeah, that girl, she's such a bitch. She does that shit all the time. No, maybe have a conversation about it and see if you can help that person come to a different realisation about the way they feel about the world, and learn that next time they see that kind of crap on Facebook, that they can look at that and go, do you know what? It's got nothing to do with me.
Very much so. And I think Women Say Something shows that people want to have discourse, and that we do want to talk, and we do actually want to actively listen. Because I find for myself that people don't actively listen. People often are so Facebooking that I had this for dinner, I do it myself. We're so actively saying what we're doing, but we're not actively listening to our friends that might be in trouble or having image issues and things like that. And I just want to applaud everybody that's been coming and supporting Women Say Something, because I think this is really an amazing event to kind of open people's ears. So we're going to change, we're going to kind of get a bit lighter now and just kind of get a bit more frivolous. One group that we're always kind of judging, who put themselves out there, are public figures. It might be Julia Gillard or Delta Goodrem or Barack Obama or Oprah or Liesl Jones. Panel, it's all about the creation of image. If you wanted to be liked by everyone in Australia, what image would you create? Beccy, I haven't heard from you in a minute.
If I wanted to be liked by all of Australia, what image would I create?
Yeah.
So this is... I have...
I think...
Thank you, darling. I have no model for that creation.
Yeah. And do you know what? And I think that yelled out from the side here is the point. I think that if you can be yourself and be comfortable with that, then everyone will enjoy being around you. And if they don't enjoy being around you, then fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like,
Fuck
really?
off. Exactly.
Absolutely true. But I can't even make one up for playtime's sake. Could I make a woman?
Piece by piece. Yeah.
Can I have one too?
Yeah.
I make two. Yeah. Look, I mean, I guess for me, it is about being yourself. And I've had this journey. There is no way that I can even begin to think about, now, who would I want to be if I can't be me? Because it's just taken me so long to get to here, So I'll just stick with this if you don't mind.
Stick with that one. Do you think that family, you were talking about your boyfriend and your son, yeah? Family clearly has a lot to do with building your self-image. Yeah. How was your family as you were growing up?
That's a tricky one. I've always grown. My parents were like 1968 hippies, basically. So I was grown up with the basic idea that I could be whoever I wanted. I was joking before about my mother saying you have to go to university. I think this was just coming from a mom being protective, and I remember we watched a documentary about commercial divers, and she'd seen what they do, and they were like, this shit is dangerous, please don't do this. So it's more because of the fear of me dying, obvious. But no, I was raised up in the idea that I could be exactly whoever I wanted to be, and that's really helpful. That's extremely helpful. That said, to go back to your question before, I've been in Australia for 2 months now. I know of Australia, Newtown, Darlinghurst. So as far as I can tell, I can be myself and they're just fine. I suspect Western Australia might be a bit different, but I don't know.
So you're liking it so far?
I'm loving it.
Okay, my last question before we open it up to the floor is going to be the same that I posed to the first panel. What do you like about yourself? Leah.
Sorry, I was distracted by Naomi talking about how much she loves her boobs. Do you know, what I like about myself actually isn't so much about myself, but it's the amazing people that happen to be in my life. I have travelled some rough roads, and one of the things that I would have liked to talk about that I won't, because we don't have time, but is about mental health and the image that is around that, and to break down a stigma around that. I have been diagnosed with, and I hate to say suffer from, but I'll say live with, significant mental health issues, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, the whole bit. People look at me and they go, Leah, you get shit done. You're such a powerful woman. You're amazing. You know, you just do stuff every single day. And it's like, no, there are days when I am actually frozen in my bed for 6 hours or more because the world is just too hard for me that day. And if it wasn't for the amazing people in my life, I would actually not get out of bed and I would not function and I would not be able to do what I do. And I want to try and break down that stereotype for a minute, because mental health comes in every single shape, size and form, and it comes with people who are passionate and articulate and want to make a difference in the world, and it comes with every other type. And so the best thing in my life is the people, and some of them are in the room tonight, who have picked me up when I never thought that I could stand. And they are the best thing about my life.
Thank you, Leah. Naomi, other than your boobs.
Oh, they're good. I don't know. I want to give you a hug now.
I just wanted to do
Lovely. That's right. They're good. Feel them. Go on. Seriously.
It'll make you feel better, Leah.
They're good boobs, eh? You want to get that on camera?
Now I'm grateful for this person in my life.
Oh, sorry. Come on over, Becky. I'll see you later. What do I like about myself? I really like myself. Just in a whole. I think if more people like themselves and worried less, I guess I get told that I'm weird or wrong or strange or odd or angry, or I get told I'm a lot of things. And I think I just go home and go, no. No, hang up. No. I don't think I am. And I think my friend, again, the friends thing really makes a lot. I've got a lot of really good friends around me. They're all, some of them are here tonight. And I just think just myself. I think it really, everyone should believe in themselves.
Thank you very much.
So deep.
Amanda.
I was going to say my amazing friends, but you stole that.
Earrings. Your earrings are the best.
No. I think my will, my very, very, very strong will. If I'm decided I'm going to do something, I do it. And there is pretty much nothing on earth that can stop me from doing that. And that's a great strength in life, something that not everyone has, and that allows you to help a lot of people, but also do a lot of things for yourself, and to just always go on. And it's a strength that when you say you can't get out of bed and things, I've seen people like this. It's so difficult to witness, and I know how lucky I am that I've got that fucking will all the time. So that's good.
Thank you. Becky.
Amanda, that's perfect. I love that. I wish that was mine. So I can't have that. So I will say that I really, really love that I feel like I have a new home and a new community that I feel really, really blessed to be a part of.
I think everybody feels a little bit blessed to have you as well, probably. Okay, let's open up to the floor at the back. Where are we? Can we turn up the house lights a little bit?
Come on, bring it on.
Come on.
Were we really that uninteresting?
No, we've got to... Where's the mic? It's up the back? Okay. Go right ahead.
I need to stand up. Sorry.
Stand up, please.
I would like to, first of all, say, as a man, thank you for your acknowledgement of us, because on behalf of myself, perhaps the other men in the room and elsewhere, yes, we do support you. We do care about you. We are your brothers and friends, and in some cases, even dads. And honorary lesbian, thank you. And I am proud of the women that I know, and I'm sure the other ones of you in the room as well. That there are people, the other sex, opposite to mine, that are strong and represent and are just as equal and as wonderful and as everything else as my sex is. So I thank you for being representation for my daughter, who will grow up to have a great example, that you guys will be for her, and I thank you for that. I would also like to say, in terms of body image, something that I figured out or learned or heard or whatever quite a while back, which was I have never, ever liked any one of my friends any more for them being richer or thinner or having a bigger house or any of those superficial reasons. All of my friends range from every... It's not a question, it was a statement.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take...
On body image, to say that, you know, that we are a rainbow and a full range of people, and they should be respected and based on their character, as all of you said. And that's what's wonderful about all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. Have we got another question? Just over here. Can we... Yeah, we'll get you a microphone just so that everybody can hear you.
My question is to Leah. You said like you'd just brush over this, but I'm going to give you time to obviously deconstruct the stigma of mental health because I think it's an important one. My question is, as somebody who lives with mental health, how do you overcome the stigma that you're just whinging or whining or you're just PMSing or just another typical like line that gets thrown around in society with mental health?
Do you know what? I think the honest truth is that I don't overcome that. I think that I fight that every day, and I'm going to try really hard not to cry. Thank fuck for you, Naomi. Although you've given me so many now, I don't know what to do. Do you know, I actually believe that we really could use a whole lot more honesty in the world. So a little, I guess, perhaps a story would work better. I work in a job that's extremely intense and I work on my own. I'm the executive officer where I'm also the only employee. Put a woman with complex mental health issues in that environment and shit goes down. And so I was fine, I was fired up, I was feeling good. You know, every day is not a bad day. But then it all, you know, sitting in an office on my own every day and all of that kind of stuff, it gets to you. And I had a flaming panic attack. I got stuck in my car in Newtown. Stuck in my car and could not get out and managed to send a text to a good friend that just said help, who got me out of my car and got me functioning again. And I thought, fuck this for a joke. I work for the New South Wales Association for Youth Health. If anyone can have conversations about this, we can. And so I went to my board I had a board meeting 2 days later and I sat down with them and said, these are some things that you need to know about me and my life, and these are some conversations we need to have about this. And I ended up bursting into tears and I had to fight with the stereotype that strong women are not allowed to cry. And fucking hell, Naomi, thank you for crying tonight because you made me feel a shitload better. And,
anytime.
And so I don't just, it's not like a wall that you just kind of go, yeah, pow, broken down. I can now live every day with this stuff that I've got. I also have obsessive compulsive disorder. I will still, every day when I leave the house, pull my door 3 times, push it once, pull my door 3 times, push it once, pull my door 3 times, push it again, breathe in, breathe out, push it one more time, and I will walk away. If I do not do that, I'm fucked for the next 24 hours. And part of beating down that wall is me saying that out loud now because I have this reputation around the place of people who know me, and I've had people come up to me and I've had people say there isn't enough representation of disability on this panel. Hello, I mean, I don't look like it, you know. I get my hair cut regularly. I cut my nails before I came out tonight. You know, I bought new tights, everything. Like and I've got a crazy awesome job and I do amazing volunteer work and I love every minute of it, but I live with this every day. Every single day I have to figure it out, and I don't just beat down, I don't just jump through a hoop and go, yes, I can do this now, but every opportunity I get, I try and have a conversation with someone about it and be honest, because I think that if that conversation helps one other person that thinks that it's just them, then my life is done, it's worth it, tick, bless it, you know?
Thank you so much, Leah.
Everyone gets depression. I've got to say, I had depression for a year. No one knew. It's amazing how you can hide it as well. But and then everyone goes, "Oh, you're just a sook," or like you was you were saying, it was like you're just being a sook. Yeah, I'm just being a sook. So you just take it on board. You know you're not.
When I first got diagnosed with depression, I was in my GP's office and I was so fine. I was smiling, but I'm a bubbly person. I get this from my mother. I smile all the time. It's my coping mechanism. My mother lived a tough life, so she smiles all the time. So I'll be in the shits, but I'll still be smiling. And so I'm sitting in the GP's office, smiling from ear to ear with tears streaming down my face, feeling like I will never get up off the ground again. And And that's also what mental health looks like. That's also what mental illness looks like. You know, it looks like so many things. It looks like all of us. And statistically, I know that I'm talking to so many of you in the room who either have a friend, a loved one, or are. And have a conversation if you're able to. And if you aren't, fucking Facebook me. Social media is not so bad. And I think collectively, if we do start supporting each other a little bit more and stop judging and stop making judgment calls, you know, loving each other, loving each other's boobs.
I think
we'll be okay.
Your arm's in the wrong spot.
It's interesting.
I think we might just leave it right there because couldn't do a better closing statement if I tried. Thank you very much, Leah. Please thank your final panel.